Question number 4, James Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Revenue and reads, how many times did the Minister meet with representatives from the foreign trust industry between 27 November 2014 and 14 May 2015, and what other stakeholders did he meet with during that time period to discuss foreign trusts?
The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
I'm advised that the Minister at the time had one meeting with representatives of the foreign trust industry and one subsequent meeting with the advisors to the Foreign Trust Group, Oliver Shaw Limited, that meeting on a range of issues, one of which was foreign trusts.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Why did he not also meet with stakeholders from the international development community, the Tax Justice Network, the Law Foundation, the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, Transparency International, or tax experts like Professor Craig Elif or Dr. Deborah Russell?
The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr. Speaker, not being the Minister at the time, I'm unable to answer what was inside the mind of the Minister, but I am aware that those groups meet formally and informally. I wouldn't have described them as experts in the foreign trust industry specifically, and therefore I don't have the information to answer that question.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is it standard operating practice in his office to make rapid policy changes based only on input from industry lobbyists?
Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr. Speaker, I contest the two prefaces in that question, that it was a hasty process and that it was on the basis of just one meeting.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the John Shewan review of foreign trusts be meeting with any other stakeholders besides those from the foreign trust industry?
The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr. Speaker, that will be a matter for Mr. Shewan, but the terms of reference are on the public record.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Why did the Minister tell the foreign trust lobbyists at his very first meeting with them on December 16, 2014, that the government had no intention of reviewing foreign trusts? Is that also standard operating procedure?
The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
As I wasn't the Minister at that time or in that meeting, I'm not going to speculate on what was or was not said in that meeting.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
What proportion of New Zealand foreign trusts does he estimate are being used for illegal activities like money laundering or tax evasion?
The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr. Speaker, it's a very difficult question to answer in the way in which it's been asked. The fact is, anybody who is embarking on illegal activity that is identified by the New Zealand tax jurisdictions will be held to account for that activity. But I repeat, the New Zealand presence is of the trustee. The foreign trusts themselves, the settlors and the transactions are all in overseas jurisdictions, and it would be they that would be interested in that activity.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Is he concerned that while the foreign trust industry itself estimates that there are about 20,000 foreign trusts operating in New Zealand, Inland Revenue says that there are only 11,646 registered trusts, meaning that nearly half of all foreign trusts operating in New Zealand may be operating illegally?
Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Michael Woodhouse.
Mr. Speaker, I haven't seen that first figure. I would go by the number that are registered with IRD.
Question number